Well, actually, probably better to get the forecast straight from the horse's mouth. Shane Jurgensen is in Christchurch ahead of the test tomorrow. What's the weather doing, mate? Welcome back to the show, by the way.
Oh, Martin, great to talk to you. Thanks for having me. Yeah, well, it's actually really hot now. Yeah, very warm. We had a early rain this morning, and training was slightly delayed. It was pretty grey, but the weather, it's nothing but sun here at the moment, so fantastic here, and it's pretty warm.
Okay, nice scorcher. You got a northerly blowing as well. I think it's a nor'easter. I'll just check that. But if that's the case, is it very windy, and is that going to affect conditions tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it's always a bit of a breeze here because of the openness of the field. So I don't think that'll be anything sort of new for us. But I think, it's certainly warm here today. And, I think the weather looks good for the first few days. So, yeah, it's really good for us. We enjoy playing at Hagley. I really love being back here. It's one of the great fields in New Zealand.
All right. A week ago yesterday, what were you doing? You're doing what we were all doing. We're all just glued to the television and the commentaries and watching that incredible test match against England, mate. But this one's kind of crept up on us. I suppose it hasn't on you, but it would, it just pretty much crept up on most of us, I think.
Yeah, I think, it was good to have a few days at home. And I think when I went home, I made a veggie gardens for my wife and spent some time with her and the kids. And just sort of taking it all in. They were there to watch it. I think I was there just having a chat to someone before. The four at the end of the game as coaches, you're sort of watching it. So there was the three coaches and the manager watching, and there was no one else in the viewing room. We were all sort of glued to it and. Sort of going, will we, Wags, will he keep bowling what he's bowling, sort of pushing them back and putting him under pressure, he'll come on. So you're trying to decide, the coaching staff, what might be the best tactics that Tim Southey's obviously going to deploy on the opposition. So, amazing. And then at the end, to get the way that we got the wicket, Waggy always finds a way to take a wicket in somewhat not traditional ways in Test cricket, and he did it again for us. And there was a moment of probably pure joy amongst four people for 15 seconds. It was amazing to be a part of that historic game.
Was that a wide, that second to last bowl? Was that a wide?
It's been brought up with a few of my English friends over there, but I just said, look, it was the same umpire, and might be a couple of questionable ones throughout the game, and he was consistent. That's all we asked for.
Yeah, look at the record books, mate. It says a one run win. Shane, how long does it take for yourself and the team just to sort of, not get over that, but just, okay, there it's done, we won, get on to the next one? Because, I think it's probably natural just to be absolutely overhyped, isn't it, from the emotion of that?
Oh, I think, that's what the last sort of few days to go home and reset has been great for all the guys. But it's also a good thing for us to keep, the ball rolling. It was good to get one up on England. They've been playing really good cricket. We've had some tough games against them over the last sort of 12 months in Test cricket when we played them over there in the first game against them. So amazing effort from the guys to get that win. And let's take this confidence and that belief from that win. And now we've got the new challenge of Sri Lanka. And it's really important for us as a team to keep our emotions in check, and we pride ourselves on our Test cricket, and we're looking forward to this, battle against Sri Lanka, who themselves have a lot to play for with the World Test Championship standing. But, we just want to go out there and play our best cricket, and that's all that we can control. Shane
Jurgensen, the Black Caps bowling coach from Christchurch, with us. In terms of the bowling line-up, I suppose you'll announce this tomorrow, but is it, do we assume there's going to be pretty much the same guys out there, or is this pitch going to be completely different?
No, I think it's a normal sort of Hagley surface where there'll be pace and bounce, looking at it in the initial sort of stages, and, the team will be finalised over the next few hours. And I think for us, it's just about the team that goes out adapting to the conditions as quickly as we can. I think Hagley traditionally has good pace and bounce, which is something that, as a bowler, as much as you go, oh, wow, pace and bounce, but you still got to execute. And I think that's what we saw, particularly in the last Test match against England, having that Matt Henry there with the new ball and Tim, the execution, the start, putting England under pressure early. And I think that's, again, now the big test is, can you do it again? And and replicate that a week later. And I think that's going to be important for us over as a bowling group to continue to be relentless and put the opposition under pressure and play to our strengths. And I think that's a really good starting point for us.
Is there room for a spinner in there? And if so, how effective?
Oh, look, I think as a spinner plays, the key here is Hagley is making sure you do utilise that bounce as a spinner. If a batter comes down and looks to be aggressive and hit you over the top and you've got that extra little bit of bounce that is on offer here, all of a sudden hitting the top half of the bat. And that's the type of stuff that gets batters out, the ability to get that bounce and all of a sudden, look to try and hit it for, the sixes and all of a sudden it's hitting, edges of the bat, the top half of the bat. And that's sort of Hagley, particularly in the first sort of, the first part of the game, that was probably what you aim for. The second innings, all of a sudden, there might be a little bit of turn on offer. And we saw that in the early part of the season with the T20s that were held.
Yes.
It did offer some turn, you might remember, when we had the Tri-Series. So, it's certainly, and looking back on the wicket, it's always a good wicket here. And looking at the wicket at Wellington was a fantastic wicket for everyone, really. It offered something for batters, bowl, and all types of bowlers.
Sri Lanka couldn't be any more of a different opponent, could they, than England?
Yeah, definitely a dangerous team. Certainly an extremely talented team. Their test lineup has been very settled, though, over the last sort of 12, 18 months. So we sort of feel that we know what their top order is going to be in terms of the batting for our bowlers and the challenge and the threat that they have for us. And generally play quite positively. And we certainly will draw from the experiences of, when we played them, although it was sort of 3 to 4 years ago now, and Wellington, when they played extremely well and got the draw, batting well in the second innings, and my nightmare of not taking a wicket, I think, all day or something like that. So, certainly a dangerous team and talented and some experienced cricketers in their middle order.
When you're talking to your Pommy mates, mate, have they been giving it to you right up the chutter over the last few weeks about the Aussies in India, who, of course, turned it round with a brilliant performance in that third test? And I've been just fascinated, mesmerised by watching what's going on in that series. And for Aussie to come back like that after getting smacked in the first two and securing a World Test Championship place, that's just getting off the canvas, isn't it?
Yeah, fantastic effort from them. And look, two teams that really do love to play against each other, I think. Australia and India, they've had some fantastic battles over the years, and I think over the years, always a lot of hype and passion and emotion in that series. And India are, a very strong team at home and in their conditions, as well as most teams in their own conditions in Test cricket, and that's the great challenge of Test cricket. So, yeah, it's been awesome to watch that series, and, it'll be interesting last sort of test to see if they can pull out, tie the series. I think it's from memory, I think it's a 4-test series.
Yeah, 4-test series, yeah. All right, well, I mean, it's just, for us cricket numbers, there's nothing better than seeing Test cricket being played like that at the Basin Reserve with two teams going toe-to-toe the last day. I mean, 5 days of sport, it comes down to one run at the end, mate. I mean, you look back on your career at the end, and you're so fortunate to be involved in that and those memories where the three of you and your mates are sitting there, the management team in that room together. This is why we love it, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, it's just beautiful, and to see my bowlers, I got very proud of them to, the way that Wags went about his business. Timmy has, always been a leader of the attack, and how, his execution standards are amazing. Henna's with a new ball, and even Henna's getting off the canvas himself, his back spasms, and sort of had, coming back, that was his first game after injury, and just, the way that he managed to get through that by the medical team, and, it's just awesome to have that sort of, all that sort of drama happening in the background. But as a player and as a coach, you've got to stay really calm, and, it's awesome. I'm very much just love my Test cricket, and for me personally, is, really, obviously we'll never forget the game in 2019 that we always try to put in the back of our mind, and, it's nice to sort of, have one come your way this time.
Always good to talk to you, mate. Thank you so much for your time again, Shane. Good luck.
Fun, great to hear your voice. Great to speak to you. Have a great day.
Shane Jurgensen, Black Caps coach. Awesome.